You're on the mic with JD, an extraordinary show for ordinary people. Let's go. What's up, good people? On this episode, we'll be talking about investing in leadership development. So, what is leadership development? Leadership development, or an LPD, is a program of learning solutions aimed at improving the skill sets, abilities, and the confidence of the organization's leaders. So, I have a degree in workforce development and leadership, and this is something that's always been near and dear to my heart. So we're going to talk about, why do we run an LPD? Why should we attend these LPDs, and who should attend? How often should an LPDs be conducted? And what are some of the skills that you teach during LPDs? So first, I'd like to talk to you about a couple of different types of leadership styles, right? Or leadership types. First one being positional leadership or positional power. That's the leadership position or the power that you reserve based off what your title is. So if you're the CEO, you're the leader of that organization, and you have all the power that of making decisions in that organization. That is your positional power. The next one I'd like to talk about is personal power. That is your ability to lead based off your attributes, right? How people look up to you, the respect that you wield, right? People just personally want to follow you because of your abilities to lead naturally. And these people, they're able to take on different responsibilities. They're good at strategy, execution. They're great at a change in management. They're very flexible, always reliable, and they just make a difference in the organization overall. So, question for you, someone with positional power, do they necessarily affect leadership across the organization? Are they the one who actually gets things moving? Or personal leaders, people who are within the ranks or amongst the population who can speak, are they the ones that are making that organization better? Are they the ones that are able to, create growth and motivate others to achieve whatever the overall goal is for the organization? I don't know. What are your thoughts? So why do we run a leadership development program, or LPD? Well, studies have shown that 45% of managers or leaders out there in middle management, they lack the necessary confidence to help employees develop necessary skills. This means that if you have great managers, this helps drive engagements across the organization, and those having poor ones, just disengage and don't help at all. So, that's why you need to have a program, because at the end of the day, if you don't lack the confidence to lead, you look incompetent and people don't want to follow. So most people quit their jobs because they just don't like their leadership. They don't like their managers. Demonstrating that good leadership ability helps retain good talent. If you're looking to increase retention abilities, people need to know that they can grow and get promoted in their careers, and then through effective leadership development programs, people are less likely to want to leave because they're able to grow, they're able to gain confidence, be more competent, and get promoted in the organization. So why leave, a good thing? Also, people like to talk to their leadership. People like to be engaged by their leaders. So during LPDs, this is a great opportunity to engage your subordinates on a more personal level and give that one-on-one feedback that most people want. If they're not engaged or they feel that you're not engaged and don't know them, personally, why would they want to work for you? The other good thing about LPDs is it helps with the continuity of the organization. This helps with bringing up the next generation of leaders, and this helps with, the old leaders or the current leaders that are there, able to sit and discuss what's really going on in the organization now and where we're going or where you're going in the future. So, whether it be formal succession planning or just more generalized training, everybody knows where we're headed. So, who should attend these LPDs? You know, Obviously, current leadership within your organization definitely need to be there. People who are recently promoted within the organization that holds new management or new leadership positions within the organization need to be there. Anybody who's new to leadership responsibilities in your organization need to be there. Anybody who may be facing challenges in the organization should definitely be there. People who are aspiring to be future leaders or managers within your organization should be there for that development piece. And then anybody who is starting out in that career field who needs a deeper understanding of what the organization does, get that early leadership skill set, and start their fast track to management or leadership positions within your organization. So next, I want to talk about some helpful tips for an effective and successful leadership development program. So first off, leaders of the organization need to be aligned in what the intent of that organization is going to be, right? Next, they need employee feedback, right? They need to know what's going on, what is the climate of their organization. In the military, we call that a command climate survey, where everybody's able to give feedback anonymously and say what they really feel about the organization, and there's no repercussions for that. But if you don't understand or you don't have employee feedback, you don't really know which way you need to shift the culture in your organization. The next thing you should look at would be the talent management within your organization. Do you have the right people in the right place, right? In the military, like, just because somebody's wearing a rank doesn't necessarily mean they're the right fit for that position. It's competence over over any other ability to lead. So the person that is wearing certain ranks or a higher rank doesn't necessarily mean they're affecting the crowd. It's like what we talked about earlier when it's do you have personal power over positional power, right? So that's kind of the feedback that you need to ensure that you have the right people in the right place. Next is there an effective mentor or a consultor within the organization who can help employees or persons learn the job better or be able to embrace the change and the behaviors that are required of them? In the civilian world, they have human resources specialists that all they do, for the most part, is advise, right? And how to make, the organization better, how to help management make decisions when it comes down to employees, when it comes to disciplinary actions or things like that. But, in the military, we have squad leaders, we have platoon sergeants who help in that mentorship role, or first sergeants, depending on what level you have. But and we'll talk about that in another episode. But how to change the culture of the organization. But at the end of the day, that has to happen anytime you're making a change. People need to be bought in on why the change is necessary and why is it happening. So one of the most popular structures of leadership development programs is called the 70-20-10 rule. So 70% is OJT, or on the job training, 20% being mentoring, and where you're helping others who lead, share their experience with others. And then the other 10% would be a training aspect that's incorporated with the other 90%, right? In the military, we have a similar process where we we have pillars of education, where you have on the job training or an experience, then you have institutional experience and training, and then you have self-developing experience and training. And it's pretty much broken down the same way: 70% on the job, 20% is self-developing, and then the last 10% is educational and institutional experience. So how often should you conduct an LPD? Really, it just boils down to what the organization needs. If there's a steep change in culture and climate in the organization, then you may want to conduct them a little more often. If everything is kind of running tip top and you just want to do some maintenance training, maybe it's quarterly. It's really up to you. It's up to the leaders. It's up to what your employees want. If they need development and they're asking for development, and you're doing these, surveys to get employee feedback, and that's what they're asking for, then, as any good leader, you should probably listen and do it. So lastly, I wanted to talk about some leadership skills to teach during LPDs. Some of the good ones that I can think of are things like goal setting and your ability to plan. Looking at short-term and long-term goals as an individual and as a leader for the organization, you really need to do a proper assessment and set realistic goals that are achievable and that are easy to reach, that work towards the common bigger goal. The next thing I would talk about is, communication. If you have the ability to write, listen, and speak, and present information in a clear and effective way, and you're efficient, that'd be great. But as a leader, you need to be able to communicate consistently across all platforms that your subordinates, listen to, or how they take information. You need to be able to communicate in multiple ways, and it's super important to flatten that and make sure everybody understands across the board what you're trying to get after in the organization. Next would be the art of negotiation. So being able to master how to influence a negotiation to go your way as a leader, you're getting results. It's you have to be able to give and take. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? But negotiate your way through terms and achieve results. Another one that's really important is being able to delegate. As a leader, you need to be able to delegate. But how are you able to delegate, you know, um, your task? You know, and at the end of the day, it's through development. You know, that's how you get your time back. You know, you develop others to be able to take over. It increases trust within your section or your organization, that you trust somebody to be able to delegate your task to them to execute well. The next one I would say would be critical thinking. You know, the ability to make a quick and educated decision under pressure. You know, decisive leaders understand this option as consequences of a decision, you know, but a decision needs to be made, and you need to be able to critically think through that decision set. So that's always a good topic to discuss. Another great topic is, how do you motivate others? You know, in the military, that's one of the definitions of leadership, is the ability to motivate. Wow. How do you motivate others to get things done, you know, to where it becomes self motivation? And I believe that's through goals, right? And through development, and, you know, buy-in. So when people are motivated to do something, it's because they're winning at it, right? So you're putting them in a position to win, and that motivates people to get it done. Another good topic I would say would be conflict resolution and conflict management, you know, and your ability to mediate between two employees that disagree, or a leader and an employee that disagree. And, you know, arguments need to be heard, and they should be heard. Everybody should have a voice in your organization, but whoever the overall leader is needs to be able to manage that debate, because there's not always going to be agreements in how we do business. But at the end of the day, it needs to be discussed, and compromise needs to be met, and we still need to move forward towards our objective. So I would definitely say conflict management, resolution is a great topic for LPD.